My name's Nancy McClenny Walters, and I coordinate the Traffic Safety Task Force for Walla Walla County. As part of that task force, we also do the Walla Walla Child Passenger Safety Team and have technicians on hand to do car seat checks by appointment. The number they would call is 524-2920.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Keenan, and I'm a child passenger safety technician, and today I'll just be instructing and showing parents how to correctly install children in their car seats. Now I am adjusting the harness straps. I moved them to one of the lower positions since the baby isn't quite big enough to be up into the top position here. So I had to thread them through these slots and underneath this thing. A lot of these infant seats are different in the back though, so and now I'm putting them through the plate so that they're on there, just like that. Now we have Ian. Mom's gonna lay him in the seat. He's about 2 months old, right?
Yep.
And he's 13 pounds. I'm gonna put the straps over his shoulders. Buckle that up. We're going to have to really tighten these up, aren't we, buddy? I'm going to buckle these. You want to make sure that for the infants that their shoulders are above these the slot here. You want the straps to come up and over their shoulders. That way it holds them down into the seat because they're rear facing. If you were in a car wreck, the baby's going to ride up in the seat. So you want these straps to hold them down in the seat to keep them safe. So I'm going to snug these up. A little bit more. Oh my goodness. Those are really loose. And again, we're going to put this harness clip right at his armpit level. It's kind of hard to tell on infants because they're so tiny, but right up here so that it keeps the straps up on their shoulders. And then again, you want them snug enough that you aren't able to pinch any webbing. And it's going to hold them down in the seats, just like that. And you always want to make sure that once you put the car seat in the car, you ride with the handle back and down. This is the infant base. Most infant carriers come with a base like this, and you can buckle it into the car. I'm going to use the latch system, which is this belt that actually comes on the car seat now. And a lot of cars have a metal D-ring. A lot of newer cars have metal D-rings down in the seat here. I don't know if you can see those, but these metal hooks to them. And the other side. And you want to make sure that you pull the strap nice and tight. You don't want the car seat to move any more than an inch in any direction once you get it tightened in there. Sometimes you got to push and shove. Sometimes you even have to crawl into the seat and kneel on it. But there we go. See, if you grab it down here at the base where the belt is, it's not moving side to side any more than an inch, and you can't push it front to back any more than an inch. I have Ian, and he's the 2-month-old, weighs 13 pounds, and we have him buckled into the infant carrier. And we're going to go buckle the infant carrier into the base that I just installed. I'm going to make sure that it clicks into the base there. Make sure it's nice and tight. Again, you want to put this handle back down until it clicks out of the way. And you want to make sure that he's at a 45-degree angle. For little newer babies, you want to make sure they're at a 45-degree angle.
Okay, now we have Kylie, who is 20 months old, and she is riding in a convertible seat, which means it can go either rear-facing or forward-facing. And the American Pediatric Society has recently come out and said that children up to 2 years old should be still rear-facing, that's really the safest way for them to be riding in a car. So we're going to put Kylie in her car seat still rear-facing. And she can remain rear facing in that car seat up until the weight limit of the car seat or the height limit of the car seat.
Okay, this car seat is still the convertible, like Nancy just said. It's still going to be rear facing, and these, you can have them in either of these straps here. You want the straps to be at or below the baby's shoulders still, just like when they're infants, because they're still rear facing. And so I'm going to use the seat belt, and you want to make sure that you belt it through the right belt path here. This one, it's going to go right kind of under their bottom, under this buckle area. So we're going to thread it right through here. And on this type of vehicle, you have what is called a switchable retractor. So if you pull your seatbelt out all the way, it switches into a locking mechanism. So if you slowly let it in, it's going to lock in any position you stop it at until you unbuckle the seatbelt and it goes up all the way. So we're going to buckle her in just like this. And come up over her shoulders. Her shoulders are just a little bit over this slot here, so it's still below her shoulder, and it's going to hold her down into the seat if you're in a wreck. Say hi. Yeah. You want this strap to be right at her armpit level, right there at your tickle spots. And you want this strap to be as snug as you can get it without hurting them. And you aren't able to pinch the webbing here. You're not able to grab any of the webbing. And there you go. She's all ready to ride safely.
One thing that I hear from parents often, they're concerned about turning their child around forward facing because they think their feet are too scrunched up in the seat when they're older. And as you can see, Kylie's feet really are not scrunched up. And the main thing, if you were to be in a collision, it is much easier to fix a broken foot or a broken leg than a skull or spinal or neck injury. And you can see, as a rear-facing seat, she's still cradled in this seat and protected all around her head and neck. What Jennifer is doing is showing how it's important to figure out how the seat fits the child before you even get it in the vehicle. It's much easier to adjust the straps for tightness and height and everything before the child is in the vehicle. Once you get that taken care of, then you can install it into the vehicle.
Okay, now we're just going to snug this up a little bit so we make sure that he's nice and tight. And you want this at his armpit level, right at his tickle spot. There you go. They're nice and snug. And you can't pinch the webbing. You want it nice and smooth and flat.
Okay. So from about 4 years old to 8 years old, children are riding in a booster seat. And typically they can get in and buckle themselves up. It's just like mom and dad getting into the car. You can see Kevin jumping up into his seat and putting the seat belt around him. So he wasn't used to this vehicle, so he couldn't find where to latch it up. So what we want to do is make sure that, number one, the lap belt comes low across his hips down here. And then this shoulder belt should fit right across his shoulder. And most booster seats have a little piece here for the shoulder belt to fit in. And then it fits right across his shoulder, and he sits up, it goes right flat across his shoulder. And you can see in this case that his head is also protected because there's no headrest on the back of this car.
Hi, my name is Audrey and I'm 8 years old and I weigh about 70 pounds.
Going in.
Okay, there's several things that you need to look for aside from what Washington's law says. Washington's law says that at 8 years old or 4 feet 9, a child can sit in a car without a booster seat. However, you need to make sure that that lap belt is still fitting correctly. So you look to make sure it goes across her shoulder. You look to make sure it is going low on her hips. You look to see that her knees fit easily over the bend of the vehicle seat, that they're not sticking straight out, and then that her feet can touch the floor and fit on the floor. And then you need to make sure that she'll sit that way for the entire ride, because if she's really not quite tall enough, she'll end up slouching down into the seat, and all of a sudden the seat belt won't be fitting correctly. Okay, there's lots of different car seats as you've seen today. We have from riding from an infant carrier to a convertible rear facing, then we turn the convertible around when the child's a bit bigger, then they can go into a harness forward facing seat, then to a booster seat. The question I most often have from parents is, what seat is best? And in the United States, all of the car seats have to be tested through the same standards, so they are all fit the same national standards. So really, one car seat is as good as the other. So what do you look for then? Number one, you look for what seat will fit your child. Is it appropriate for the age and the size of your child? Number two, what car seat will fit in the vehicle? Not all car seats fit well into a certain vehicle, so you need to look for that. Number three, which car seat can you afford? You do not have to buy the most expensive version, because as I said, they all have to go through the same testing. So if you like the fancy cover, if you like the fancy name, then go ahead and buy the most expensive seat. But parents don't have to worry about the most expensive being the best. And last of all, which seat is easy for you to put in? If you cannot easily install that seat into the vehicle every time you're doing it, then it's not protecting your child. So which one can you put in easily and safely every time?
If I am on a traffic stop and there's a small child in the vehicle, I'm going to just take a quick look, make sure the child is secure inside there. I'm going to just take a look at the seat belt, make sure there's no tears or rips, that is still functioning. I'm going to make sure that the car seat itself is not moving all over the place. This young lady right here looks like she is secure, ready for a good trip in the car.
There are a couple of really good websites that I often go to. One of them is the Washington Safety Restraint Coalition website, and they have a brand new site that will walk you through installing a car seat as well. Also National Safe Kids, and if you go to the Safe Kids website, they will be able to help you. Along with most manufacturers of car seats, if you go to the specific manufacturer, they have instructions for you also.